Future of Mining podcast. I'm your host, John Farson, and today we're at Aachen University with some of our EMC students. And perhaps you guys can introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Benjamin.
Hello, I'm David.
Hello, I'm Andreas.
Hello, I'm Ronnie.
And hello, I'm Alessandro.
Great, thanks guys. So perhaps to get us started and on this journey, perhaps you could tell us all a little bit about yourselves and how you came to choose the EMC as your study. Maybe we can start.
Okay. So of course I'm from Italy, the northern part of Italy, and I study geology during my bachelor. And during my bachelor, I had the opportunity to do an internship in a quarry in a mining company. And so after that, I decided that I want to continue into this sector, and I applied for the EMC, and here I am.
Yeah, I'm from Finland. I actually have my background in civil engineering. So that's how I got into the rock engineering part, and I heard about the EMC, so I thought it was a really interesting sounding opportunity. So that's how I ended up here.
I did my bachelor's in mineral resource engineering in Leeuwen. Leeuwen is one of the partner universities, so obviously I heard it from the university, looked more into it, and looked really interesting, and so I applied, and now I ended up here.
I'm from the Netherlands, and I did my bachelor's in Aachen, and in Aachen you have to choose between which direction, and I chose the mining one, and then I also heard that they were part of the EMC program, and then I looked into it, and I was like, oh, this sounds really interesting, because also, I'll be honest, during my bachelor's I didn't do any foreign exchange semesters because I thought I already study abroad in a way, and I was like, oh, that's a cool moment also to they also have that, and just looked really cool. And so far I'm very happy. So.
Yes, I'm from Zimbabwe, which is obviously a big mining country, and I ended up getting my background in geology. So I stumbled onto the course, and it was a perfect match with my interests. And I like the traveling aspect as well. So,
no, that's good. So that's actually a perfect segue to the next question. So you guys all started the program in September in Finland, Ronnie's hometown, if you like, which has its own challenges, moving country, different cultures that you've experienced, and of course the climate. So you've been in the north in the winter, and we had the great pleasure of travelling together on the northern excursion, which was really cool. But how did you, maybe not for Ronnie, but how did you other guys adapt to the Finnish winter?
Personally, at first we were kind of lucky because we had a bit of a milder winter, I think, only -5, a little bit over occasionally region, which was...
A little bit cooler than Zimbabwe, I guess.
A lot colder than Zimbabwe. It was a few things I had to adjust to, and the rooms got quite dry, which I wasn't expecting, because I imagined in my head all this snow, it must be humid the whole time. In hindsight, obviously not. And I wore a lot of coats, stayed indoors most of the time, and just tried to avoid it. I don't know how anyone else handled it.
One good thing in my opinion, maybe the best thing about it, your clothes dry in 6 hours. So you could do a wash, in the morning, and you could wear it in the evening. That was
That was a bonus.
That was a good bonus in my opinion, yeah.
It's a big
highlight. The winter itself was not that different from the Austrian one. The only big difference was that the raining was a little bit more in Finland, because when the temperatures were above 0 degrees, it always was raining. This was maybe a little bit annoying, but if you want to get warm again, the sauna culture in Finland is great. I guess we all really enjoyed that. But besides that, I think the really cold months were in January and February, so we got kind of lucky with this one.
Ronnie, do you want to add something about the Finnish winter, or you're quite happy with the experience there?
Yeah, I would say it was a good snowy winter, so to say that we actually got some snow in the capital region as well, which is nice. Not so much slushy, this watery slurry that's around the streets a lot of the times, but now the winter was actually quite good, I would say.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest downside were the hours of lights, especially in December, but it was quite a good experience.
Yeah. And so just before you pass the mic back around, so this idea of going to a new country and studying in a different place with a different culture, and we had this great northern excursion as well, where we went to the north of Finland. How did you guys find this traveling aspect and moving city? Was it a good experience for you? How do you think other future students of the EMC would respond to?
Yeah, of course it was an amazing experience, especially like traveling and like have the opportunity to study abroad is something that I highly suggest. And you of course have to adapt a little bit, for example, for the food, the weather, and so on. But it's part of the journey. It's part of the EMC experience. So it's something that I really recommend.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, for me the traveling part is mostly ahead, but I would say that so far it's been a really good experience.
Yeah. So we've just arrived in Aachen, and we're going to talk about that soon. So you'll get to share your impressions.
I mean, I would say everybody's in the same boat. I mean, besides Ronnie, he lives there, but I think we have a great group of people, so the adaptation was kind of good, I think. And since everybody had like the same like problems or whatever you want to call it, it was kind of easy to help each other out with that.
Same experiences rather than problems, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's cool that it's also a bit, because we've also got people from the home, like the organizing universities. You always have like some people present there that like know their way around.
Yeah.
So in Finland we have like Ronnie and Paulina who helped us a lot, and now I felt like
So you knew where to get a good pizza and a beer and stuff like that.
exactly, you get like the insider tips, and then for Aachen we had the people from study in Aachen, and then in Leon I expect some greatness.
So we're back. We've had a technical fault, and we have been talking to a camera that wasn't on for a little while, but we did manage to get a beer, and we're back on track. So sorry about the technical issues, guys, but we're going to carry on. We're going to soldier on. And the next question is probably a perfect one for this, because what's the highlight for you guys so far in the program?
For me, the big thing was in Alto, all the traveling and meeting everyone. The main thing for me was that from the moment I arrived, I actually met a few guys from Austria early on Sunday. And from the moment we met, we all got along well. It's been nice to experience not just one specific part of the industry, but lots of different minds, lots of different places. And yeah, this has been really great for me so far.
Yeah, I just have to agree with Benjamin. It's like the two main like things that stand out to me already about is the community aspect in a way. And we haven't even been to the reunion with all the alumni, but I have high expectations for it. I'll be honest. But like our cohort, I feel like we're really getting along very well, which is just great. And of course the traveling, the international aspect, seeing the different parts of the mining industry like up close, not just reading about it. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like what the other guys just said, and the excursion up to the north of Finland was really great. We've seen, I think, 5 mine sites in 1 week. So we saw small mines, big mines, underground, open pit, and really got an overview about everything we learned during the lectures. So I think this was really great.
Yeah, I think the highlight is that we are not just colleagues at the university, but we do everything together. We go running together. We have party together. So we are just like a small family or a big family.
That's very good. Ronnie, do you want to say what your highlight is? Or?
Yeah, I'm here with all the other guys. I have the
Similar feeling?
similar feelings.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. So when people think about mining, they mainly think about large open pit mines in Africa or in Australia or South America. And they're perhaps unaware of all the mines that are in Europe, and particularly in Finland, which has got some massive underground mines and open pit mines. During your studies at Aalto, you got to visit a few of those, and we just talked about that. And perhaps it's perhaps a bit surprising for people that haven't visited those mines. But what's your perception of mining in Europe, the scale of it, and the size of the mines that are open today and are coming in the future?
Yeah, coming from a civil engineering background, I feel like the excursion week was a really good experience to open up my eyes to the industry. And of course, at other points of my study, I have had a nice chance to hear about the history of mining and how it has evolved in the European Union over time.
I mean, for me, coming from Africa, the main thing was I just simply didn't expect there to be such large-scale mines. In the back of my head, I always imagined it would be mostly underground or small-scale, out of the way, where people don't, which I mean, I guess Northern Finland is quite out of the way, but just the big projects like Terrafame and Kemi Mine, and these are very, very massive from what I had imagined would be around in Europe.
Yeah. So that's what surprised you the most? It's the scale of the operations?
By a mile, I would say.
So you finished your first semester in December, and you've had a few months since then. You've just started here in Aachen, so there's 3 or 4 months gone by. So what did you guys get up to? Has anyone got a good story they want to share with us?
Yeah, during the past 3 months, I had the opportunity to do an internship at BBT. That is a company that stands for Brenner Base Tunnel. Is 50% owned by Italy, and the other 50% is by Austria. And it will be like the longest railway tunnel in the world, with over 200 kilometers of tunnels. And it was an unique experience, of course, for the geological complexity and also the geotechnically. And because we are crossing through the Alps, and it was quite a unique experience, and I had the opportunity to develop a small access tunnel. So I was involved in the planning, and yeah, it was quite a good experience.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Anybody else got anything else they want to share?
Yeah, personally, I spent the first couple of months in the spring in Aalto doing a couple of courses to adapt my experience in the masters. I did 2 courses
Some extra courses?
Yeah, some extra courses, 2 about concrete and 1 about rock excavation, and I believe that this is also one valuable way to spend the time while you have it.
To give a less productive, I guess you could say, use of the 3 months, I took advantage, being not from Europe, of having so many friends around the country to travel and see as many of their different countries as I could with obviously the best type of guide, a local guide. So I went to France and Spain and Italy, Austria and Hungary, and just took advantage of my friends to see what they had in their hometown.
Sounds like a good way to spend your time, right? So you guys have now arrived in Aachen, I guess last week. So how have you settled in?
So far, it's been a lot easier than it was in Alto because we've obviously now know each other very well and we've all had help. So not really too many hiccups, and the housing situation and everything was all pre-organized for us. So it was pretty smooth, I'd say, on my side. We've had people like David to take us around and show us the local spots and everything that is.
They know where the beer and the pizzas are.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, of course, for me it was quite easy because I did my bachelor's here. But yeah, for me it was also a lot of fun to like show everyone around a bit how about. And then it's like the community aspect again I mentioned earlier, because like in Finland, Ronnie took care of us, and then now it's like I feel like it's our turn, and then in Leoben it will be the Austrians' turn. So it's like it's very family feeling, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have much to add to that, but it's really an advantage to have like people who studied at the different countries, at the different universities, who can help you with the small like things, I would say, and to also show you the city from like a local, from the local perspective. So that's really an advantage, and I think we did this quite good because, as David said, he's showing us around here, Ronnie in Helsinki, and I guess I will take care of Leoben then. So that's quite good, yeah.
And Ronnie, this is your first time away, effectively, right? You've been in your hometown for the first semester, and now you're in the foreign extremes of Aachen. So how are you finding it?
Yeah, so far I feel like it's been really good. Obviously it helps that we are such a tight group that has gotten along in Aalto already, so it's really given a smooth start for the studies here in Aachen.
Yeah, I would say that for the non-native German speaker, we are still struggling a little bit with the language, but we are working on it. And yeah, it will be fun for sure.
So do you guys have any tips for potential EMC students about Aachen or actually about Espoo or where Aalto University is next to Helsinki?
Yeah, don't have fear to go study abroad. Of course, it's a little bit intimidating to go study in another country, to have to meet new people, different cultures, different weather conditions, but it's part of the game.
Yeah, get to know each other, enjoy your time while you are studying, and yeah, that's about it. I'm with Alessandro in this.
No, I just wanted to add that since like everybody will be in the same boat, like many of you or like many of us had the same problems, and it's good to help each other out. So like you not need to solve the problems by your own, because there's a pretty high chance that somebody else has the same problems.
I would say definitely for the EMC as well. It's like you got the community, you got the people like your cohort, but you got the alumni, you got the whole network. I think if you want to like succeed also as a mining engineer, like it's good to get the connections, and that's all, like, and get the experiences, not just your one local town, let's say, but like get all the international experiences, because mining is very international. So you keep running into the same phases.
So let's pivot towards how and why the EMC program is different from other mining programs. I mean, you talked about the travel aspect, but what other things makes the EMC a little bit different from other programs?
The main thing for me was because I'd done a bit of work back home, and before I left the work to go and start studying, my boss had highlighted me, my previous employer had highlighted to me the importance of you must specialize in something because you need to be good at something, obviously, to get hired. It's important in the mining industry to be able to have a diverse approach and an understanding of the full system. And one of the key things for me that made the EMC stand out, that makes it different to other courses, is that you don't just learn one specific type. We're not learning open pit mining or underground or geology, or we're covering a large area, but we are still covering it in a way that we can specialize. So we all get the opportunity and the benefits of becoming specialists well, we get a lot of the benefits of understanding the full system.
So you get a broad foundational knowledge.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with Benjamin with the broad aspect, because I also looked into other mining masters, and none of them I would say are either this wide, or also the fact that you do 3 different universities during one master program is, I would say, is very unique, because you will have masters with like 1 exchange semester maybe, sometimes even 2, but never like the 3 that you switch around like this. It's and of course, like I said, the community aspect I feel like is more than in most other programs.
I can't really add much to it, but I think one of the biggest advantages is like you study at 3 different universities, get like presentations and lectures from experts in the field in like 3 countries. So I think this is a really, really great advantage of the EMC.
Just adding a little things is not just like the experience that you can do in the field, like during the university, but is also the alumni, so the support from the community, and also from the industry that is sponsoring us.
So how do you guys compare this program to one where you just study in one university and where you stay fixed? Is there advantages or are there disadvantages to studying and travelling between the 3 universities?
Yeah, I feel like it's a big advantage to study in multiple countries in such a international industry such as mining. So it gives you a much more insight into the industry as a whole.
And to add to Ronnie's point there, I think a big thing with the mining is that you've got the social aspect of being accepted in the areas where you're mining, and these areas are often spread all around the world. So I think in a way we get to practice talking with people with different backgrounds, and because all of us have different backgrounds and we've got to get along, obviously, and all of our professors have different ways of doing things. All the different countries are built up with different systems, and this, I think, helps us a lot to get used to these varying aspects and see how, if we went, for example, to Mongolia or Chile or to work on a different mine, we would, I think, better be able to adjust than if I just stayed in one place, learned one way of doing things, and that was it.
So if I were to, for example, compare to my bachelor's where I just stayed in one place, so I stayed in Aachen, then it's, of course, it's easier in a way that you have your same spot, like you'll know the place. But I think for
It's more comfortable that way.
it is definitely more comfortable, I'll be honest. It is definitely more comfortable. You have your place, you have your friends always there. It's like, you know how everything works. And that is like the difficult part of moving around this often. Like by the time you adjust it, you feel like, okay, now I know everything, how it works. You already move again. But I think for an industry like mining, so what Benjamin said, it is an industry where there's a lot of moving around. You're going to places you've never been before. So I think it's, in a way, good to learn it or like experience it at the minimum. Like, how is this? Yeah.
So Benjamin touched on it already, and it's a good segue to the next question. So one of the issues in the industry is the public perception and this necessity of having a social license to operate. So if the public is against mining, they can stop the mines operating, obviously. But we have this critical need for the raw materials, and we need to get it close to home. How do you guys see the perception between your friends, the people you know, and the environment around you? How do you think mining is perceived in Europe today?
I would say I'm also from a maybe it's more not the most average background because I'm from an old coal mining town, and there definitely because it was a big hit when the mines closed back in the 70s, but I would say nowadays, at least in this region, people are also getting pride in that they're from this region. So it is, I would say, for regions like this, it's definitely the last 10 years. It's been a big increase in support for it. But if you talk to, I would say, the more average person, also especially just normal students here, it's not a good perception because people always think back at, it's just coal mining, at least if you're from this area. and then it's like, but it's so much more. And I do think there's a lot to be done in the public perception of like how mining is, because we've long moved past from the 70s. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think also to add on to David's point a bit, I found that when you mention you're in the mining industry, people always tend to default to these very old-fashioned, they imagine you're down in a dark coal mine with a pickaxe and it's the dangerous conditions and it's not healthy and you're destroying everything. And I think a big thing for me has just been seeing how old-fashioned people's ideas still are in this part of the world with mining. Obviously, it's a bit different for me at home because everybody's exposed to it. But once you sit down and sort of explain and say, well, look, we don't really do this anymore and this has changed. And I found, particularly amongst the younger audience, people are a lot more receptive to it than I'd expected once you sit down and talk about it for a bit. But there definitely is this sort of old-fashioned idea that they immediately have in their heads.
Yeah, I think that the perception is slightly changing, especially after the last geopolitical tension, and the people are realizing that certain metals, certain raw materials are vital for the industry and for the economy. So I think that the perception is changing.
So when I think about mining, I have a different view than most people do, because I see all the high tech, I see the changes that have come in the industry in the last years. But how do we kind of help shift this narrative in the general public that mining is necessary, it's smart, and it's environmentally conscious?
In my opinion, a big thing is outreach. As I said, a lot of people are open to hearing what's changed, and they've got these old-fashioned ideas because the only time you ever really hear about mining on the news is when something bad happens. And so I think a big thing is just reminding people, that this is critical. We're not doing it just because. This is necessary if you want the green revolution and changing to renewable energy and all of this and stepping into a circular economy. We still need more metals before this is possible. And also just showing them that we're not sending children down in the mines or people with pickaxes and cocoa pans, and there's safety and there's modern machinery and automation, and these old dangerous ideas are a thing of the past, and this is what people still cling on to.
To add to that point, I would also think going into the more, because like all the high tech stuff is so popular, so like I would say like you have all the big companies everyone knows, and it's like, but mining also has this aspect. There's so much in like high tech going there, like what you call maybe like can be used there, and I think maybe it would also be a good thing to show people also like mining is not this old fashioned thing from the past. It's like it's there, we need it in the future, and also it's very high tech at the same time.
So do you have some examples of what the high tech?
Now, for example, when we went on our trip, one of the first weeks actually when we went to Aalto, we went to visit also Sandvik, we went to visit Epiroc. We visited a lot of the places where they're like showing us the new stuff they have. They have like autonomous vehicles. They have like, you can control machines from like thousands of kilometers away. It's all possible. Like it's the mine of the future will be, there will be so many automation there. There will be AI in there. There will be, so it's like all the stuff, people
that we
think
dream
nowadays.
about for the future, it's here today.
Yes,
yeah.
It's already there, and it is coming to mining as well.
What's your message for future students who care about the climate, sustainability, or innovation, and might not have considered a career in mining? What would be your message to them?
I would say that for any industry we have, also just for the green energy and the recycling or whatever, the raw materials are the basis. So we need our raw materials to build to build everything. Like we need it for our recycling plants. We need it for our energy plants. We need for our wind turbines. So to do like a green revolution or recycling or whatever, we need to start with getting enough materials to even build this revolution, I would say.
To add to that a bit, I would like to also say that if we take this opportunity into your hands, if you're worried about bad mining practices around the world, and you care about this climate revolution that's happening, you want to save these places, the best thing to do is to get involved and get your hands. So if you are there on the ground and you can say, hey, this is not correct, this is not proper. If you are standing on the sidelines complaining about it, nothing's going to change, because you have to be there to be the person.
Become part of the solution.
Exactly, to become a part of the solution.
This topic is maybe something you need to think about a little bit further, but maybe you already thought about it. So what's your ambition after you graduate? You've got another year and a half to go in this master's program. So it's not that far away. So what's your ambition after you graduate?
Personally, I think there's a lot of potential in Southern Africa, and so I'm hoping to contribute to this shift in rising demand in metals and critical materials by going back to South Africa and helping Southern Africa and helping to develop these large critical material mines that are done properly and efficiently on a larger scale that can actually have its impact around the world.
For me, I'd say definitely use the already international feel you get from this program. Go even more international, I would say, like get a more practical experience, definitely. And then bring that back to Europe and like make us more like independent, like bring the tricks, I would say, like the techniques, and like make sure we can have the top of the line mines also in Europe.
My goal is to work underground somewhere. I have no idea yet if it's like mine design or ventilation or whatever. But in my opinion, underground is the most interesting part. Definitely want to go international, want to see lots of places. And
like David, I also want to capitalize on the rich international background, understanding of different cultures, working abroad as well. And one thing that has really been interesting during my studies is how you realize how broad the field actually is, because there are lots of, for example, technology companies who are very much related to the field. It's not just you have to go to the mine yourself. There is a lot more to the field also.
I would like to work in Europe, at least for the first 3-4 years, and being part of the changing maybe of the mining industry in Europe, working on the opening of a few mines, I hope undergrounds, but who knows. And after, with a little bit of experience, thinking about going abroad or, opening something in Italy. That's it.
So this question is for all of you again. What do you think the future holds for the mining industry in Europe?
Yeah, that's a really tough question. I think that the critical raw materials will play a really important role. And of course, we need, as mining engineer, we need to provide the best solution to address these problems.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see what the future holds for mining, but I feel like there is a lot of room for improvement. For example, learning waste management, how to do mining more sustainably, how the technology will develop in the industry in the future.
I also think that the technology is a really important part in this question, because especially in the future, we as mining engineers need to go for lower grades, to recover the lower grades in mineral resources. And for that, we need to develop new technologies to recover these kind of minerals.
I would say also, if you look at the news recently and the last few years, we definitely see our global supply chains are very much vulnerable, I would say. So it also definitely shows the act that we do as in Europe. We need to be more independent for our critical raw materials. And so I think that just shows we have to have more mining in Europe. There's just no way around it. And to have more mining in Europe, we need more miners, we need more mining engineers, we need the industry, and we need the people behind us, like to convince the people that we do need this. We need the social support to say. But I do think I see it very positively. I do think we can manage this, and that's part of the reason why I'm here.
And I'm similar line of thought as David. I think a lot of, with what's happening around the world these days, a lot of people in Europe are realizing this need for independence, or at least a diversity of supply for these metals. And a lot of deposits are being found, even if they are lower grade than outside of Europe. And there's a lot of work being done to build this sort of independence and keep us out of this more fragile, easy to change reliance on other places around the world, which I think is very important.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the insights that you've shared with us and the time that you shared. And I enjoyed the conversation. I thought it was really great. And I hope our audience also gained some insights into the European mining course and what it is all about, what it's like to study in these three great cities. And if you're interested in learning more about this, I'll put some links in below where you can look at the FEMP website to gain a bit better understanding. And if you liked what you heard, please give us a like. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, bye.